Hi, hello. My name is Maris, and welcome to Critical Root Zone, where we get to the root of sustainability, going below the surface to rebuild trust, making sure that we hear all voices on our journey to a climate-positive planet. And we are back with my good friend Frederick Cawthon, and we're talking about hemp. We're in the cannabis series, and we got. Let's just jump right back into it, shall we?
Sure.
Because we were talking about your personal connection.
This is what I live and breathe.
With hemp.
For almost 10 years now. That's the crazy thing about it.
For almost 10 years.
Yeah. I know where you're going. Go ahead. Take me there.
Yeah. Well, no, that's really what I want to hear. So you take me there, Frederick.
Okay. So, yes, 2023 will literally be 10 years. And it's hard to believe it's went by that fast. So 2012 is really, my story starts before 2012, but I didn't know it was going to lead me to cannabis. All right. So I would say 2007 or even before that, my mom was dealing with some problems, going to different doctors. We get to one specialist. They prescribed this pill, changed the milligrams 6 months later. And no, we don't have it solved. We're transferring her to another specialist. And I use air quotes, specialist, because by 2012, mom was a vegetable, basically. Memory loss. And then we were told, we figured it out. She's has dementia. And at the time, there wasn't really, even if you looked up Alzheimer's, it wasn't really a lot about dementia.
Right.
Like the Alzheimer's Association since is doing a great job and being inclusive about the issue of dementia. But no, we were literally giving mom with this diagnosis and had no clue what to do. And walked away from that, really. The family, honestly, we had a jaundiced eye towards the medical industry when it came to this specific thing. And so that's when I personally just started looking for other holistic alternatives. Fast forward 2013, September. I will always remember this as well. Dr. Sanjay Gupta, CNN, did the first Weed One episode. Had the Stanley brothers on there talking about this new cannabis strain. And I'm thinking, cannabis strain? What? And at the end of the episode, I'm sitting there with all of this overload of information. And I spoke something into the universe that took effect. I just said, Lord, how can I be a part of that? And started connecting, researching. When you Googled, you didn't find anything. So literally through social media, you started to kind of connect with people. And then fast forward, 2016, I was made aware of what was then Tennessee Hemp Industry Association, which has been rebranded, as I mentioned, to the Hemp Alliance. But I started just coming in. And when I say coming in, one, I'm looking for a cure for mom, or at least something to help aid mom. Yeah. That was clueless of even the business side of it. Just I'm trying to find product, because you could not find product on this shelf back then. And so I volunteered. And when I say volunteered, when we would be meeting up at the Legislative Plaza, advocating for certain bills to be passed, I would be the guy in the room, literally, that, it's mostly farmers, right? And I come from a technical background, so I know how to work things. And literally, I will do the presentation. I will be up there just clicking the button or setting it up or moving chairs. Literally, I started at the bottom of this in 2016. Then fast forward, I got tapped on the shoulders early 2019 when one of the board directors said, Frederick, you ever thought about being on the board? And it was like, I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing. No, I have not. But then I was elected to the board. Then fast forward 2 months after that, the preceding president, Joe Kirkpatrick, was stepping down and called me one day and said, hey, I think you need to run with your background and your passion. Key word there, passion, right? Yeah. I think we need you to take us to the next level. And he said, I'll give you 24 hours. because I said I gotta pray on this, because I am really, as I've gotten older, I'm more mindful and intentional about everything that I do. And if it's not God's will for me, I'm not doing it. I don't care what earthly pressures come my way. And so literally I had to go in, but then the universe spoke back to me was like, I opened this door because I'm using you for something bigger. And so, yeah, I put my name in the hat, and lo and behold, everybody else went with it too. So
Yourhat.org.
Bam.
Put in the plug there, baby.
Yeah. YOURHAT.org.
With Mom.
Yeah. And, I wish we would have gotten Mom a solution earlier. I have to give a shout out to Labcanna, the first product that I gave her was their Tennessee CBD. Yeah, like literally. And, I even have to say, one thing about shopping local and then even coming in and getting involved is you get to know the leaders, because that was the benefit. I showed up where the people were doing business. And then, I met them at the first Southern Hemp Expo. Shout out to Morris Beagle and the Southern Hemp Expo. They will be in Nashville at the fairground, August the 18th through the 20th. Come, you can see me. I'll be one of the speakers, and we're going to have everyone from Commissioner Hatcher all the way to other key banking, you name it.
That's August.
Investor opportunities, everything.
The 18th or something like that?
August the 18th through the 20th.
Great. This will come out right before that. Perfect. But yeah, so you were meeting people at Labcanna, and they were giving you stuff for your mom, and she was feeling better.
Yes. It stabilized her.
It stabilized her,
there's about 5 different stages that one goes through with dementia. And by the time literally I got to Labcanna, she was already at stage 3. But let me tell you the effect. And it's all anecdotal, but this is real. My mom just passed away last year.
Yeah.
Right? And it was a blessing to have her around, but then Mom was not Mom. Like, Mom was not my mom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was like getting up and reliving death every day in a lot of ways. But to me, she would not have survived that long if it were not for the product. And here's why. My sister started volunteering for the local Alzheimer's Association and would meet families, and she would share just some of the stories about their loved ones coming in stage 1 or 2 and then going through it, just like, because you have a 4 to 6 year expectancy of life once you're diagnosed. Mom was just like, I'm here. She it's like it slowed her down as far as going through the remaining gates. And what we were literally using in the last years was a 1-to-1 CBD CBG mix, because it seemed like the CBG would just make her pop a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Whereas this.
So let's get into that. First of all, thank you for sharing that, because that story is, those are the stories to me that really put things into perspective. Like, if this is healing for these types of reasons, right?
Right.
It should have never been.
You got me
banned, man. Like, this is stuff that's healing people, that's making their lives better. And yeah, we're gonna. Gosh, this is just like, it's so moving for me. Thank you for sharing that story. But I'm gonna bring up what you had me look at last night. I have not that one, but this one.
Oh yeah,
the wheel,
the Cannabinoid Wheel.
Yeah, and so we were talking about cannabinoids and that they exist in the plants.
Over 100 have been identified.
Okay.
And we still have so much research to do. Remember,
because when it was banned, we weren't allowed to do research
Universities couldn't even legally research this, right?
And even in 2014 Farm Bill, that's when you were able to research it, right?
Correct.
When we started researching it.
Then here's where I have to note. The government would not let anybody study this plant, but if you look up patents on CBD was patent before. They also have the patent, the United States government, on THC.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Fun fact. There it is.
There is one fun fact. Yes.
There's a lot of fun facts.
It's a lot of fun
if you want
facts.
to really dig into it. There's a lot. But so this wheel, let's talk about this wheel.
Yes.
So in the center, you were telling me about it last night, right? You've got the symptoms, neurological or for mood or behavior, gastro, intestinal, pain or sleep or other. So these are like, as you can see, it's showing you which cannabinoids.
And it's pretty much saying that, yes, if you in combination have these particular cannabinoids, this is what it can aid in, hopefully helping you with this type of problem.
And that's something like right now, I feel like a lot of people are just confused about, and that's what I'm actually going to get into much more of that with my Labcanna fam. But if we're looking at this wheel, right, how does that relate to the plant? Like, because THC, CBD is...
great question. Great.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I want to kind of start at the higher part of the tree, no pun intended, at the family root of a saying that when you say marijuana, marijuana has CBD too. So marijuana is high in THC just naturally. They're cousins. So this cousin right here is beefed up in THC, but has CBD because they're family, right?
Okay.
But then when you get to the hemp side of the cannabis sativa, well, hemp is high in CBD. They took the CBD genetics, but then they have the THC, which I'm sure everybody has heard of, the 0.3 THC. That's the legal limit
for hemp.
But the plant can naturally, and due to weather conditions, etc., go beyond that 3%. In fact, one of the efforts that the U.S. Hemp Roundtable is working on right now is the 2023 Farm Bill is already being put together.
Ooh.
Which is another reason why you come be a part of these organizations, because bills just don't happen. Like, there's work done up years before to get that. And so what we're pushing for right now is to raise that 0.3% limit up to 1%. And at the farm level.
Why specifically is that important?
Because of growing conditions, genetics, etc. You're putting pressure on the farmer to control something that is really out of his control.
Sure.
Right? And then there's still the legal aspects of, if you become hot, they can question and say, oh, you intended to do it, when farmers are just trying to make a living and send kids to school and pay bills and feed the family.
Right.
Right. And so that's why we want to give the farmers more breathing room. And, it still does not remove that by the time you get to the end product, it needs to be 0.3. But we're trying to just ease some of the pressure on the farm.
Give them a little wiggle room.
Come on now.
Let them breathe a little
We would
bit.
not be a country without our farmers.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Amen. Well, okay. So we're talking about cannabinoids. We've got the healing properties of hemp. We know now we'll go back to the policy. We're going to talk about that more in another episode, but we'll go back to policy. So the Farm Bill in 2014 was signed by Barack Obama, just to recap. And that started the cultivation of hemp.
Research.
And,
Tennessee was really a part of that. Our earliest leaders in the state, that once we became commercialized, they got their experience doing that because they were in college and were the UTs, the Middle Tennessee State, the Tennessee State universities who were researching. And so those students became our initial experts about the plant. And they had their initial relationships because they were interacting with people out west. It was 13 states. It's the original colonies. We had North Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, Oregon. I'm not going to go through all of them. But, yeah, it was like we were the pioneers.
So then 2018 Farm Bill comes along. Trump signed that one.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, President Trump.
Thanks for that. Period. And expand on that one. That one's for the commercialization of hemp.
Yes. That's saying, hey, now we go from this research to USDA. You need to stand up, and states, you now have the ability to stand up a program beyond these original approved pilot states. And that's what then created the oversupply that we had, because every state jumped on board because everyone was excited. Why would they have been excited? You know, and I would say from a USDA standpoint and economic standpoint, farmers need an alternative crop. Tobacco is dying, right?
Thank goodness.
And with other commodities, crops just impacted by overseas pressures, et cetera, our farmers need help.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and so this could be that crop that one in a rotation cycle gives them extra income. You know, hemp is being looked at as a dual crop. So with a farmer who is producing fiber, and you could get tri-crop really. There's flour that comes is very little or minor compared to if you're growing predominantly for flour, but on those hemp stalks, there's flour at the top.
Okay.
Then you can grow for seed production to go in the grain.
Right, we need the seeds, yeah.
And then you use the stalks that can go into industrial applications.
Right,
like if you look at this room around us, the walls,
and everything.
the carpet. I mean, it's so many, this tablecloth.
Cars.
Yes, the seat.
Yeah.
Like, so many, like, we could be sitting on hemp right now and taking care of farmers and the earth and everything else that we've talking about.
Sustainability. I just heard this on a podcast this morning. So they were saying we got to do it right. We got to make sure that we do it right. What does that mean? Like industrialization and capitalism can take over and can make anything good bad real fast because of the way they just take it and make it explode. Instead of making sure that we are putting the nutrients back into the soil, right? And like, do you kind of know what I'm talking about?
I know it from two angles, actually.
Okay.
You know, there's two sides to that coin. Because when I hear industrialization, the first thing I think about is how we've already industrialized the farming industry, where we're killing the small family farm.
Exactly, that's the route I was going.
And see, but then I also see it from the standpoint of, because I heard two pieces in there. One, it's about people. You know, everything we talk about is people and planet, right?
Yeah, people and planet.
And I say you cannot heal Mother Earth if you don't heal her people.
Absolutely.
So when we talk about this devastation of the small family farm, but then when we talk commercialization and industrialized entities that come in, they don't take care of the planet either, because, you know, if we say focus on or don't focus on sustainable regenerative farming, composting.
Farming, yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Google that, everyone.
And industrial entities don't think that way because they're trying to get mass production as quick, as cheap as possible.
Right. No, this is a regenerative culture.
Yeah.
We need to do it together. We need to teach our children. We need to get dirty.
Yes. And so, you know, I think there's two sides to that.
Man, yeah, and that's just something to think about because that's a whole nother conversation, truly. This has been fantastic. This has been great. We're kind of coming to an end for this episode.
I would just say support the yourhat.org.
Yeah.
If you're out in the city, Verge Agritech, you know, we're focused now on product development and brand creation. So we have products out there in this Nashville and beyond. Radical Labs is what's been out there since 2020.
I get to work with you this weekend.
Exactly. You're going to be hanging out at the pickleball contest.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be after the pickleball.
But hey, you know.
We're going to party this weekend. I'm
if you saw us, we appreciate you coming by.
Yeah.
And then we just launched a new CBD brand, finally getting into that part of the the branding, marketing whole world. Salute, SALUTAE.com.
We'll put that in the notes.
Yeah.
Too.
So just keeping, and I got 5 jobs, literally.
Because we're hustlers.
And we're out here saving the world, people. I call her Superwoman, and you know, when we met, and this is in closing, you know, I said we're like Wonder Twins. Powers activate.
Yeah, powers activate.
Bam.
Earth, wind, fire.
Yes.
Cannabis.
Ego.
Man, this has been a pleasure. Thank you again for everything.
I love you, man.
Yeah, this isn't over. We're gonna probably do this again.
literally.
I have no doubt that we're gonna do this again. But again, putting in the plug for my guys at XPLR at Elm Hill Pike Studios. This is a studio that I'm using, and they're fantastic. They can consult with you and come out with you in different events and stream and all these different things. So make sure to email me at criticalrootzone@gmail.com if you have any questions about that or about me, about Frederick. I'd love to get you in touch with him. I don't know if you want to give out an email, but I could be the middleman for you if you want.
Yeah, contact Mary.
I'll be the middleman, and
She got me.
And if you have a personal story, I mean, please share it because your voice definitely matters, and we want to hear what you have to say. So I'm excited about the next episodes coming up with Labcanna. I'm not going to disclose everything, but there is still so much to learn, especially about the CBD and the THC part of the cannabis plant. So, without further ado, remember, until the next episode, to ask questions, inspire others to be better, and anything is possible when we stand united. Thank you for listening to Critical Root Zone. If you'd like to reach out, email us at criticalrootzone@gmail.com. Critical Root Zone is produced in Nashville, Tennessee, copyright 2022.